Hello again, everybody. It's been a wee while since my last upload, mainly because I've been just really busy with real life things. But I promised some of my friends a while back that I would do an engineer ground build because they've got engineer tunes that they'd like some help with. So I've come on to my KDF engineering tune here. This is level 65, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her into a bit of combat. We'll try and get some numbers on her, and then we can have a look at the build. So I'm going to try something different this time. I think I'll try a bug hunt. Actually, I know that's always one of the popular ground queues. So yeah, so we'll try a bug hunt advanced. Hopefully that won't take too long to pop. But while we're waiting, we'll just quickly start having a look over the build here, okay? So this is our kit modules. She's got our Chronoton mine barrier, and you can get the Chronoton mine barrier just simply by crafting it yourself, okay? So if you come into your R&D system and then you go down to your kits and modules and scroll down and you're looking for engineering. So yeah, so there's the engineering kit modules. You select that and then use the drop down menu. You'll see that you've got a huge list of engineering modules that you can craft yourself, and you see the Chronoton mine barrier there, okay? So that's how you would get that. I would add as well that you know, as I've said before, when you're crafting things yourself and you plan to try and upgrade them, you're better to do it at Mark II very rares, right? So again, you see there, I can craft it Mark II very rare, and the reason being it's easier to upgrade the quality to ultra rare. You know, there's a good chance if you craft that, I said it's a beam turret there, but it doesn't matter, it's the same thing with the mine barrier, okay? But if you craft them at Mark II very rares, and then you take it up to a Mark 15, there's a very good chance that it will go to an ultra rare while it's upgrading, and I do believe the ultra rare is the highest you can actually get those particular kit modules up to anyway, guys, okay? So that's how you get that. The next one is the uncertainty burst. That is a universal kit module, and you get that when you level up your temp pops. And you come into the DIL store here, and you go into the temporal operative modules, and we'll just do this before we accept. And it's uncertainty burst, so you see them there, guys, okay? So depending on how high up, you can get different levels of them there, but they're all good, okay? Now what we'll do is we're going to accept this and I'll be taking a parse as well to get some numbers on her. What I would say is, I know some people don't like me hearing me using the voice attack. So what I'll be doing is, when we start the TFO, I will just simply mute the microphone audio, but you'll still be able to hear the ambient noises of the TFO, okay? So we're just waiting for this bug hunt to pop at the minute. So here we go.
Welcome to Pariah 3. I'm Lieutenant John Vanderveer, and I'll be your demolitions expert on this trip.
If you've not been here before,
I was stationed on the USS Buenos Aires until the Vaudouar took her out. She was a good little ship. I miss her. Welcome to Pariah 3. I'm Lieutenant John Vanderveer, and I'll be your demolitions expert.
Okay. So everybody's eager. Good. So I'm just going to mute the microphone here, guys, okay?
Fire in the hole! Obstacle clear. Fire in the hole! Clear to proceed. Fire in the hole! Area clear. Scans show that we need to jump down this narrow fissure in the rock. Be careful. I don't know what's waiting for us at the bottom. According to our scans, there's a tunnel under us. Give me a moment, and I'll clear a path. Fire in the hole! Watch that first step. I think I can get us across. See that large stone? Cover me! This is it, the center of the hive. You've killed the spawn mother, but we need to fall back so I can set off the charges and bring down the hive. Yeah! The spawn mother's down!
Okay, so hopefully you can hear me all again, guys. So I'm just having a quick look at the parser here, it won't be a second. Right, she did well. We were top of the team there with 600 DPS. Next was 535, 198, 187 and 117 there. Oh, that was good. So nobody in the team actually died there, which is actually quite unusual for that map and that difficulty. So that's good. I will post the parse as always in the description as well, okay, for you to have a look at. So 600 DPS there, guys, with an engineer, which I think most people would agree is you know, very respectable. So we'll just proceed for where we had left off, having a look at the build there, okay. So we covered the Chronoton mine barrier, again, you can just craft that yourself, like I showed you. The next module I was using was a module called Uncertainty Burst, which is a universal kit module that you'll unlock as you level up your temporal operative specializations. If you come into the DIL store under temporal operative, scroll down, you'll see the Uncertainty Burst modules there, and you'll have access depending on how high up you are in that specialisation to the different, you know, levels of that module there, okay? So it's a very nice module. Basically, it's an AoE, confuse and teleport against your enemies there, okay? The next module I was using was the Agony Field Generator, which you buy off the exchange. When I checked earlier on, it was fairly expensive. They were 7 million. Okay, so they're not that cheap, but I've seen them go as low as 5 million. You're unlikely to get it for anything under 5 million, guys. That's the cheapest I've seen it for a long time. So it will cost you a few million, but it is a very, very powerful ground kit modules that I put in pretty much all my ground builds, just simply because its numbers in the parse are very, very high, okay? The next one I was using, and again I would point out that is also a universal module, so any profession can use it. I would just point out as well, guys, see when you are buying these modules, even though, you know, like this one can be expensive, if you notice it's bound to account only, not bound to character when you equip it. So provided you do have shared bank account slots, then all you'll ever need is one of these guys, and then you can just transfer it between the different toons whenever you want to do some ground combat, you know. So even though it is quite expensive, remember that it can be used by all your toons, and of course any future toons that you create. So, you know, if you think about it that way, then it's not so bad, okay? The next module I was using was Sabotage. This does come from a lockbox and you buy it on the exchange. The good news is these are actually very cheap, guys, right? Again, engineering ground kit modules, they tend to be very cheap because, you know, engineers aren't the preferred profession for ground combat, right? So when I checked earlier on, this was under 100 grand, believe it or not, and it's extremely powerful for an engineer. If you look at the description, it's an area of effect, weapons offline and destroy constructs, and that's exactly what it'll do. It'll disable your enemy's weapons, and it will also destroy any constructs like turrets or whatever that they've laid down. So very highly recommended for an engineer guy, especially with been very, very cheap on the exchange. So advise you, if you've got an engineering toon, that you should go and pick that one up ASAP, okay? Finally, I was using the neutronic mortar. You get that from your Delta reputation. Scroll down to the ground equipment. Yeah, so there it is there, your neutronic mortar there, okay? So I do like the, you know, the neutronic mortar's a very nice long range area of effect weapon, okay? And I would also say it's good to have a mortar. So even if you don't have this one, again, you can craft mortars yourself, guys, just the way I showed you with the Chronoton mines, right? If you don't have access to the neutronic mortar yet, I do recommend taking a mortar of some description into ground combats, especially you know, story missions and TFOs, because quite a lot enemies can get glitched inside the walls and things like that, and you won't be able to hit them with your normal weapons fire. But because mortars do splash damage, you will be able to kill any enemies that have glitched like that, okay? So that's something to bear in mind, okay? So that pretty much covered our kit modules. The kit frame is the Romulan 2-piece I'm using here from the mission Uneasy Allies. So if you get into your episodes, scroll down to your Iconian War, and the first mission there is Uneasy Allies, okay? And
I'm currently on leave from Voyager, and I was passing near the Hobus system in a shuttlecraft when I picked up some odd energy readings. I took a detour to investigate. You can't be too careful where Hobus is concerned. But I wouldn't mind some help. Can you rendezvous with me at these coordinates? Having a real starship here would be a big help. You'll be able to
collect the kit frame there as well, okay? So again, I put the Romulan 2-piece in pretty much all my tunes for the simple reason, guys, that you're talking about an armor set here that you get for free, right? You will have to run that mission twice on Easy Allies to unlock the kit frame and the armor, okay? You know, as I was saying there, this kit frame and armor is on par with items that, you know, ground items that you would normally have to go to the lobby store and buy that way, right? So Cryptic are funny like that, right? They will sometimes put like really amazingly good items as mission rewards, totally free, right? If you're just prepared to go and grind them in this 2-piece. Another one classic one would be the 3-piece morphogenic set from the Midnight mission, which is the final mission. Sorry, it's not that. It's the final mission in the Gamma Quadrant arc called Home, where you would get the space set, the morphogenic 3-piece, and again, the morphogenic 3-piece set is on par with items that you would have to go and buy through the lobby store, guys, okay? So as I said, you just have to know about these things and know what missions have got the really, really good free items for you, okay? So the reason I use these is because, apart from the fact that both individual pieces are excellent, or even on their own, the 2-piece is going to give you, while aiming, plus 10 energy damage resistance, and while you're crouching, plus 30 critical severity, okay? The shields is the cool temporal operative shield. I need to just quickly disable my voice tag there. So it's the cool 2-piece. So to get these items, you'd come into your episodes, scroll down to the temporal front, and it's always different in every different tune for some reason. Temporal front. And for some reason I cannot find the temporal front in here. That's strange. So is it future proof? It is, right, sorry. My bad. Right, so it's under future proof, guys. If you come in here and get down to the mission, the temporal front,
the data from the future that you provided has made it clear.
Then you'll
we
see
need to form a stronger alliance with the major galactic
temporal
factions.
auto shield
To that
and
end,
the weapon.
we're sending delegates to the first alliance.
Okay. And the reason that I used these, again, both pieces, well, to be fair, the shield's great and the weapon's like crap, but the 2-piece set is really good, and it's +2 critical chance and +30 critical severity. Okay. Weapon is my usual plasma wide beam rifle. You can either buy these off the exchange or get them from the away team vendor at Dyson Joint Command. And this synergizes with the Romulan set because it's a plasma weapon, and this set will boost plasma damage. Okay. Now there is a budget way to do that as well for these guys that will show you, because these wide beam rifles, especially higher quality ones, can be really expensive on the exchange. If you come into your R&Ds and you get down to your ground weapons and you scroll down to wide beam pistols, select that, use the drop down, and you can actually craft plasma wide beam pistols yourself. Okay, now I would point out that you can't craft the rifles, guys, right? As I said, you'll have to buy them, but the pistols you can craft now. In this game, pistols will actually do more damage than rifles will, but they've got less range, so you know, that is a perfectly viable weapon, again, if you can't get the plasma rifle, right? But just be aware that you won't have the range of the plasma rifle, so, you know, as long as you can close with enemies fast enough, you know, then that's definitely a viable weapon for you there as well that you can use. Okay. And again, my secondary weapon there was the nickel gun, which again, you'll never use that, it's just there for the 2 set bonuses. My devices there were my Jackal Massive, which you get, all Klingons will get that, and my Alachi Walker from the previous event, and my Nanomil Pulse Warthog from another previous event there. Okay. Is there anything? Yeah, so traits I was using was rifle training, sure-footed, and I just wanted to point out here, guys, the devil's in the detail with this one, right? So if you have a look at it, it's telling you that you'll get a +25 knockback resistance rating and you're immune to knock while crouched. Now, it's this second one that really makes this extremely valuable, right? Now, a lot of things in this game will knock you back, especially AoE things like grenades and things like that, right? And you don't want knocked back, because, you know, even if you survive and get knocked back, it's going to take you a good few seconds to get back into the action, during which you won't be doing any damage, right? And as you noticed earlier, you know, if you use the Romulan 2-piece, you're getting extra crit severity when you're crouched, so it's a win-win situation, right? And that's why you see me getting hit with all sorts of grenades and things like that, and I don't get knocked back, and that's why I use that. Okay, so just be aware of that, guys, right? I've got my Techno file, which you get from leveling up your R&D kits and modules to level 15, right? And what that's basically going to do is give you a +100 kit performance for a third of the time. Right, so it's excellent. I advise you to level up your R&D kits and modules to get that one. It's an excellent budget ground trait. Next I was using was aggressive, bonus all damage and threat generation, creative for my 30 kit performance, field technician for kit readiness, which helps your kit modules come up for use again quicker. lucky for crit chance, and penetrating rounds for armor penetration, and finally we had peak health for toxic resistance and plus 10% maximum hit points. I would point out there that see on maps like Bug Hunt, a lot of the damage is coming, it's toxic damage, so that's actually quite a nice thing to have slotted if you are going in to do Bug Hunt, because it will negate a chunk of that toxic damage that's coming at you there, okay? Now if we come into my ground reputation, I'm using Dead Lame plus 20 crit severity. Magnified Armaments is plus 6.3 bonus all damage. Then I've got plus 5 crit chance from lethality. And then finally I had armor penetration rank 2 for plus 12.5 armor penetration there. The skills that I was using were Temp Op and Commando. Temp Op primary and Commando secondary, guys, okay? And just to point out here, this is the way I've got my skills set up. Now, I've said this before, I'll repeat it again, right? You know, put everything into weapon proficiency and your kit performance. The reason being, these are for survival, and you're going to be getting all your survival just for like your armor and also your commando specialization. They've got that will be, I mean, as you see there guys, I didn't really even come close to dying. Okay, so you'll get all your survival out there, just throw everything else into those two is my advice for that, okay? As I said, specializations, Temp Op primary, mainly using this on the ground here because it's giving you plus 50 kit performance, which again a very big boost there to your kit performance. And secondary commando, as I said, it's all survival that you're going to be getting for your commando there, okay? I don't really think there's anything else that I need to cover here. So, as you've seen there, you know, a very effective ground build for an engineer. It is difficult to get as much damage out of an engineer on the ground as a tactical captain or a science captain, but you know, as you've seen there, it's certainly possible to get very high numbers out of an engineer with a decent build on him. 600 DPS is very respectable and more than enough damage to see you breeze right through any normal or advanced and even quite a lot of elite ground TFOs in this game, I can assure you of that. Okay, so I'm going to end the video now. As always, I'll say if I have forgotten anything important, please drop it in the comments or contact me in the game and I'll be more than happy to clarify that for you guys, okay? So hopefully it'll not be so long before I do another upload, and until then I wish everybody good luck and good hunting there, okay? So bye then.